Hello and welcome to the Helping Hand TV show with me, the voice of ability on air for persons with disability. This is the special Election Watch series where we bring you all the news, the views and the interviews from the disability community.
H4P Organization, the authentic voice of ability for persons with disability, brings you the Helping Hand Election Watch series, discussing the concerns from the disability community.
The political parties should be concerned and support the training of this tactile ballot because they are the ones we are going to vote for.
I've got to a place, steps up. How can you carry somebody 5 steps up to go and vote and then you carry him or her down?
So we look at how the voting papers are inclusive. We look at how the voting centers are inclusive.
The political parties will realize that persons with disability are the largest minority.
Election is in the air. We must vote based on policies, and our elected officials must know what actually we at the grassroots are going through, especially in the disability community. It is a special Election Watch series.
The Helping Hand Election Watch series with the voice of ability on air for persons with disability. Bishop Dr. Charles Kofi Hackman. Stay tuned.
Hello and welcome to another exciting edition of the Helping Hand TV show, where we seek to throw the spotlight on the abilities of persons with disability. And like I say, you're welcome. Welcome to my world where disability is not inability. Special thanks to DV Unlimited Company Limited and Fasty Chapel, my proud sponsors. And special thanks to you for tuning in. We have an exciting edition for today, but I'll go for a quick commercial break. When I come back, I'll introduce you to the edition we'll do today and my guests for today's episode. Stay tuned.
We'll be right back.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, you are with me, the voice of ability on air for persons with disability, and today I want to introduce you to someone with so much ability. Some people call her the greatest friend, others call her the sweet companion, and others still call her the faithful worker. She is dependable, reliable and adorable, and she's committed to lending you a helping hand anytime, anywhere. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome DV Cleaners.
DV Cleaners Alata Samana Shower Gels, DV Cleaners Aloe Vera Shower Gels, DV Cleaners Body Lotions, DV Cleaners Hair Shampoos, DV Cleaners Hair Conditioners, DV Cleaners Liquid Detergents, DV Cleaners Hand Wash, DV Cleaners Floor Cleaners, DV Cleaners Toilet Cleaners, DV Cleaners Cake Soaps, and now introducing DV Cleaners Hand Sanitizers. For bulk purchase, call us on +233 278 308 246 or +233 244 467 326. DV Cleaners, one of the top most made in Ghana products. DV Cleaners, proudly Ghanaian.
And so remember that anytime you purchase any of the DV Cleaners range of products, you are lending a helping hand to a person with disability and you are supporting H4P Organization's special advocacy for persons with disability. DV Cleaners!
Nature's finest touch! God bless our homeland, Ghana.
God bless our homeland Ghana. It's happening here on the source of Ghana. The first ever, the best ever, the greatest ever, and the only prestigious awards for persons with disability is the Christina Hackman Impact Leadership Awards. Is the second edition of the prestigious Chill Awards 2025, right here in Ghana, West Africa. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, is finally here. Is the grand opening for nominations for the second edition of the prestigious Christina Hackman Impact Leadership Awards 2025. Is the prestigious Shell Awards 2025, valid from 1st September to 31st December 2024. Eligibility for the second edition of the prestigious Shell Awards has to do with a person with disability or institutions of persons with disability who have contributed to national development with respect to leadership and impact in the following categories: 1. Education, 2. Entrepreneurship, and 3. Disability sports. Eligible applicants should kindly visit the Chill Awards website, www.chillawards.com. Kindly click on the process button and fill our online form with your details, providing supporting media and references. Click on the submit button and join the race to be part of the winners at the second edition of the prestigious Christina Hackman Impact Leadership Awards 2025. Is the prestigious Chill Awards 2025. For further inquiries, call H4P on +233 209 555 777 or +233 596 313 338 or +233 277 552 208. Remember, it's a grand opening for nominations for the second edition of the prestigious Christina Hackman Impact Leadership Awards, the prestigious Chill Awards 2025. Valid from 1st September to 31st December 2024. H4P, bringing dignity to disability. H4P, perfection is our passion.
And help us to resist oppressors with all our will and might forevermore. Oh, and help us to resist oppressors rule with all of our will and might forever.
Is the Helping Hand Election War Series with the voice of ability on air for persons with disability. Bishop Dr. Charles Kofi Hackman. Stay tuned.
Yeah, welcome back to the Helping Hand TV show. Today's edition is an exciting one. I have one of my favorite guests with me. He's a PR for the H4P Organization, Mr. Philip Tete. Philip, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much, Bishop. It's always exciting to be on the show.
I like it when I'm able to get you and Marilyn on my show. It means that I can bring you on and on and on and on and on. Anyway, but thank you so much for today's edition.
You're always welcome, sir.
The episode today is an interesting one. It's a new one. I'll get to that. But for starters, H4P, you are playing a very integral role in the disability community, and you've been doing this for quite some number of years. Tell us briefly about that, and then we'll get into the discussion for today.
Thank you very much, Bishop. Like I said, I'm so excited to be on the Helping Hand television show. And you know, I can never start answering your question without appreciating the good work you're doing. Thank you so much for the hope and life you bring into the disability community through the Helping Hand television show. You've traveled outside of the country and you are still committed to ensuring that we bring dignity to disability. We don't want to take this for granted. So on behalf of staffers of H4P, we want to say thank you so much for your commitment to this cause and for driving the cause of disability here in Ghana. God richly bless you. Bishop, H4P.
Amen and thank you. Amen and thank you so much.
H4P, for first time guests, H4P Here for Perfection is an NGO. We are predominantly a media-based advocacy organization. We advocate for persons with disability. We advocate for the rights and privileges of persons with disability. And it's also important to know that we are not only focused on media-based advocacy, but we do a lot of projects too behind the scenes, like the National Disability Fund Games we organize for special education schools, Christmas parties we organize for special education schools. We have community projects where we visit families with persons with disability, identify problems and needs they have, and we assist them, and several other projects we embark on. And back to your question, our role in Ghana, Bishop, H4P's role as the voice of the disability community in Ghana is huge. It means that anytime H4P shuts up, the voice of the disability community will never be heard. That was a need we identified, that there is a section of the society that have been marginalized, their voice is not heard, their plights are not heard, and their might are not even known. And H4P took upon ourselves to embark on this mandate by filling that gap, by being the voice of the disability community. And we've been doing this for the past 13 years, bringing to the fore the knowledge on issues pertaining to disability. And we have the Helping Hand television show, which is a major tool we use to project this particular program. Every Saturday on GTV at 6 p.m. it is aired. We are also on DSTV channel 278. We are on YouTube and on Facebook. So anytime your viewers tune in, they will be able to get information. If you go on YouTube and on Facebook, you can access previous projects we have done on the Helping Hand television show. And we've been doing this. I'm so excited the impact we are making in Ghana and even beyond. It's been profound, and the education level keeps growing and growing. And there is so much more we have to offer in Ghana and beyond when it comes to disability-related issues.
Thank you so much. Today we are beginning a new series. We call it the Election Watch series. H4P, you are always doing something new. What really is the Election Watch series about?
Thank you very much, Bishop. So the Election Watch series is part of the inclusivity project we do in H4P. H4P, we serve as a bridge. We look at what is happening in the country, then we find how persons with disability will not be neglected, how persons with disability can be included. And again, what makes our project so important is because we live in a society that we almost always forget about the disability community. So H4P would always draw the attention of stakeholders towards persons with disability. H4P would always bring awareness, bring the people that can effect changes. We draw the attention that focus on persons with disability. So the Election Watch series, like the name suggests, we do it every 4 years during election seasons, and knowing that it is so easy for persons with disability to be forgotten, and we don't take it for granted that because we've done it before, it will always be remembered. So anytime it is election time, we bring stakeholders together, that is persons with disability, they raise their concerns, things they think if they are put in place, they will be able to go through the election season successfully. We bring the Electoral Commission also on board to raise the concerns persons with disability have brought up, and the Electoral Commission would also make the disability community know the provisions they have made. Now, the disability community would also commend the things the Electoral Commission has done that they would want it to be repeated. So it becomes a learning curve for the stakeholders. And political parties, we also bring them on board to share their manifesto and what they have. In fact, we started by making sure that we push political parties to have something for the disability community. And thankfully, things are changing. So we bring them on board using the Helping Hand television platform for them to share their vision, what they have for the disability community, so that our people would make informed decisions as to who to vote for, because they would seek for, or they would go after the person, or they would vote for the person who is seeking their interest. So we create that conducive atmosphere so that persons with disability at the end of the day will not be disenfranchised in any way in exercising their rights and privileges when it comes to voting.
Thank you so much, the H4P organization. So from today, we begin the Election Watch series. I'll go for a break. When I come back, we'll kickstart the Election Watch series for 2024. Stay tuned.
Is the Helping Hand Election Watch series with the voice of ability on air for persons with disability. Bishop Dr. Charles Kofi Hackman. Success is a product of hard and wise work. Is 60-second success with the Bishop. Stay tuned.
Welcome to 60 Second Success with the Bishop, where I give you success nuggets for a successful life. Whatever level of success you desire to achieve, whether big or small, local or international, you cannot achieve that success if you first don't take the first step. Most people spend so much time planning and yet never take the first step to achieve their dreams. To be successful, you must start from somewhere. And the best place to start from is where you are. A year from now, you will wish you had started today. A year from now, you would wish you had started earlier. The journey of 1,000 miles, it is said, begins with a step. Be bold, be brave, be confident, and start something worthwhile today in order to be successful tomorrow. It has taken 60 seconds for me to give you this success tip, but it will take more than 60 seconds for you to put it to work in your life. So start your journey to success now.
Hello and welcome back to the Helping Hand TV show. This is a special series, is the Election Watch series 2024, and special thanks to Mr. Philip Tete, who is my studio guest. And we are going to go straight to the disability community to allow them to bring their concerns concerning the elections for 2024. And to do this, we have to go to the mother organization, the Ghana Federation of Disability Organizations, GFD. The Helping Hand team spoke to the executive director of the GFD, Rita Kusi Trema. I'm going to bring her in first. We talked about the concerns of the disability community as we gear towards this 2024 elections. Take a listen.
Our concerns are looked at in terms of the process and in terms of the political party manifesto and how inclusive they are. So in terms of the process, first of all, we look at how the Electoral Commission, and obviously that's the main concerns, how the Electoral Commission is inclusive of disability. So how the policies of the EC are inclusive to ensure that persons with disabilities have equal opportunities to participate in the election process. So we look at how the voting papers are inclusive. We look at how the voting centers are inclusive, how the voting booths are inclusive. We look at how prepared the Electoral Commission officials who man the elections are well empowered and sensitized to accommodate or to receive persons with disabilities who participate in the, and also how persons with disabilities are empowered about the election process so they could effectively participate equally like others. So on that score, we look at how the awareness activities of the EC are accessible to our members. So radio programs, the TV programs, the printed materials, and how they reach the disability community also. So these are the issues we look at when it comes to the process. The other bit is how the political parties are consciously, intentionally including persons with disabilities in their manifestos and engaging them to understand the tenets of those provisions in their manifestos. So then we will be informed to vote as expected, and also we will have the needed information for tracking of implementation of those
Series with a voice of ability on air for persons with disability. Bishop Dr. Charles Kofi Hackman. Stay tuned.
So with what the executive director said, it means that a lot of work must be done by the Electoral Commission and the GFD. I think a lot of work needs to be done, right?
Bishop, I perfectly agree with you, and especially knowing that, in fact, since the Helping Hand television show is the platform where we learn on disability issues, we have 12 member organizations that are under the mother umbrella, that is the
GFD.
And if you permit me, I can go through the list. So we have the Ghana Blind Union, we have the Ghana National Association of the Deaf, we have the Ghana Society of the Physically Disabled, we have the Ghana Association of Persons with Albinism. We also have Share Care Ghana, we have Mental Health Society of Ghana, we have Inclusion Ghana, we have Burns Survivors Association, we have the Ghana Stammering Association, we have the Deaf Blind Association, we have Center for Employment of Persons with Disabilities, and we also have Special Mothers Project. So these are all groups or organizations that must interact with the EC, and EC must interact with them, because they will all have peculiar needs that must be addressed, so that at the end of the day we would have a successful election day. So a lot of work has to be put in, and it means it has to also start very early so that there won't be pressure, so that everybody would be duly served.
Definitely. So it definitely would mean a lot of work to make sure that persons with disability are not disenfranchised within this election season. So I went ahead to ask the executive director about the extent of work and what it really needs to go into preparing persons with disability and preparing the landscape so that nobody in the disability community will be disenfranchised. Take a listen.
Let me say that in the past, EC consciously did some work in terms of ensuring inclusion. And so, for instance, there were tactile jackets at the voting centers. Some of the officials were trained. The awareness activities had representation of persons with disabilities and also targeted persons with disabilities. Observation is that for some categories of persons with disabilities, the mainstream interventions do not reach them. So if you are looking at getting deaf-blind persons or persons with deaf blindness to come and vote, the mainstream program will not help in any way. If you're looking at persons with intellectual disability to come and vote, the mainstream program, some may hear, but it will not be meaningful unless you engage and translate into simple languages or simple words that will give meaning to them. And for instance, depending on the allocation, if the programs are done on radio, persons with hearing impairments or deaf persons will not hear. And so our advocacy is that there should be targeted interventions. Our doors are always open to mobilize the people to participate. We need the duty bearer to lead, to take the intervention as part of the priority agenda. In a particular election year, about 64,000 persons with disabilities voted. Meanwhile, our census records very high numbers, millions. What is the cause or what happened? So this year, if conscious action is not taken, the number is even going to be lower, because we need to get people to understand what is expected. We need to get people to hear that they need to vote. In some situations, or in some cases, people who do not get the right information take decisions with the guidance of their aides or personal assistants. And it may affect their own decisions in terms of who they vote for. And so it's important that we take conscious efforts to ensure persons with disabilities, especially the minority groups, are meaningfully engaged and empowered to go into the voting.
Is the Helping Hand Election War Series with the voice of ability on air for persons with disability. Bishop Dr. Charles Kofi Hackman. Stay tuned.
So, Philip, for me, one or two things stand out for me listening to the executive director. Number one, she talked about this 64,000 persons with disability voting, and yet the census report talks about the fact that persons with disability, we are in the millions. How do we work around that?
Bishop, I think this should be of great concern for political parties. Like, it should be a huge concern for political parties that you have over 1 million people and just 64,000 would cast their vote. What could have accounted for that? Bishop, I can profess some ideas what I think could have contributed to that, because
Go ahead.
If the polling station is not accessible, it is a disincentive to a person with disability, a person with physical challenge, a person with visual impairment, so that when we're getting the polling station, the necessity to factor in persons with disability. And I say thank you to the H4P organization for what you are doing through the Election Watch series. The fact that it's important that when we are selecting and choosing polling station, we should be mindful of the fact that Ghana is made up of two groups of people, the able and the disabled. So when we are selecting a place for voting, we should be mindful, we should be conscious, we should be deliberate. Let's create all the scenarios. How can somebody with in wheelchair access this place with ease? How can somebody who is visually impaired access this place with ease? Let's ask all the questions, then it would inform what place or which position we will go in for as a polling station. Because I think that if a person with disability goes to a polling station and struggles, what I've known in our journeys with the disability community is that they circulate information. I go through one struggle, and I'm going to call my fellow that I went through this. I went to the polling station. I couldn't access the place. It was on a story building, or I had to climb the stairs, and it means I had to get down from my wheelchair and walk on the ground. I mean, crawl before I go and cast my vote. I don't want to do it. We know that immediately persons with albinism arrive at the polling station, you must give them professional treatment. But you're like, okay, they were able to work from their homes and all of that, and they are not mindful of the fact that the sun has a negative effect on their skins, and coming to stand in the sun to be in a long queue before they will cast their vote, I'll better sit at home. So I think these are some of the things that may have contributed to the reduction in numbers.
Definitely, I agree with you. And for me, I want to add the fact that sometimes the polling agents might be knowledgeable, they might be aware of it, but the people in the queue. So
Yes.
the education should not only go for the polling agents, and this is where I applaud H4P, because what we are doing now is educating the society so that everybody knows that though I'm in a queue, when a person with disability comes, according to the law, they are supposed to skip the queue and then go and vote, because sometimes the polling agents might know it and allow it, but people who are in the queue, obviously because they are also tired, they would complain, and some would create problems and all that. So that's why I applaud H4P for this level of education through the election watch series.
Let me explain something. If somebody with hearing impairment gets to a polling station, the person is able to walk, the person is able to see, the person is able to do everything. The thing you don't know is that the person can hear. The reason why we need to make this person skip the queue and cast the vote and go home, so that just in case there is any riot or there is any chaos, I am a person without hearing impairment, so I can hear the sound and I can make a move. But until the danger gets close to this person, until it comes to the person's visual, scope, the person will be a victim.
I think definitely the strength of a nation is determined by how well it takes care of its vulnerable. I want to scale it down a bit to say that the value of an individual is also noticed and seen in how well they value their vulnerable. You have been in the queue to go and vote. God bless you. You are doing well. But when a person with disability comes in, I know that by law they are supposed to be given preferential treatment. As far as I know, the last election, that was what the Electoral Commission told the H4P when we went there, and I'm sure that the same rule applies for 2024. And so we are taking this opportunity to speak to all Ghanaians. When you are in the queue and a person with disability comes in, I know sometimes it will feel a bit some way, but in exercising your civic duty, we have to understand that we have a responsibility to the disability community. And so this is also very, very, very important. Somehow, I believe that the Electoral Commission is really, really working hard and is doing, putting all these things in place. The disability desk at the Electoral Commission is manned by my very good friend, Abigail, and I know how passionate she is about disability issues. And I know that all these things we are discussing, she's listening, and probably they have even put these things in place for persons with disability, because they've been doing a good job. The Electoral Commission, the disability desk, they've been doing a good job, and I know that these elections are going to do the same thing. Let me go for a break. When we come back, we'll continue with the Executive Director for the Ghana Federation of Disability Organizations, Rita Kusi Trema. It's a Helping Hand TV show. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Muma Yeshira Ejo Nyamye O Nyame wo fata Aye Muma Yeshira Ejo Nyamye O Nyame wo fata
Is the Helping Hand Election War Series with a voice of ability on air for persons with disability. Bishop Dr. Charles Kofi Hackman. Stay tuned.
Yeah, welcome back to the Helping Hand TV show. It's a special election watch series. Mr. Philip Tete is my studio guest, and Rita Kusi Trema, the executive director of the Ghana Federation of Disability Organizations, is our special guest. Philip, thank you so much for this time.
Thank you for having me, Bishop.
I want to move the discussion forward a bit. I went ahead to ask the executive director to highlight some of the needs with respect to the elections, needs of persons with disability when it comes to the elections. Let's take a listen.
Some of the key priorities, actually, we worked on our own manifesto that highlights some of our needs. One priority need is for us to have access to better education through the inclusive education system. Of course, looking at education and from the basic to the tertiary level, we're looking at how policies are put in place and programs are implemented to ensure we are not left out of the mainstream education. It's a key issue, and the need for government to resource the inclusive system is a priority for us. The other is employment. We have noted the attitude of some human resource managers or institutions in terms of recruiting persons with disabilities. We see the limited knowledge in embracing the concept of inclusion of persons with disabilities. And so these factors and others come in to affect or limit the opportunities for persons with disabilities to get into the formal space. There are many impediments that are put in the way of persons with disabilities that do not promote their access of opportunities to work. And so one priority is to get government to have policies that will really create the space for persons with disabilities to work. It's not about just getting the space, but also that friendly, enabling environment that will let the person deliver, which includes attitudes of the workforce in a particular institution. We need a more welcoming. Also, the policy will have to help to guide these institutions. There are provisions in the Disability Act and all, of course, the proposed bill, amendment bill, that encourages employers to recruit more persons with disabilities. But also, civil society led by GFD has proposed a policy that creates that enabling environment, and then social protection. So we're looking at how inclusive. Our priority is for government to be more inclusive in terms of the social protection interventions and programs that are being implemented in Ghana, and also designing new programs or intervention that will really respond to the critical needs of persons with disabilities to give some assurance to their survival. We think that is very critical. Government. And then finally, there are other areas, but I'll touch on health. A key priority for us is accessible and inclusive health system. Looking beyond the health insurance law and the health insurance scheme, how do we ensure as a nation that persons with disabilities are confidently engaging the health service providers? How are their needs catered for? How are we ensuring communication, effective communication? How are we ensuring equipment are accessible and the facilities are accessible to persons with disabilities? And how are we empowering health workers to be receptive to persons with disabilities and their needs? So these are all critical priorities that we have highlighted the government looks like.
Is the Helping Hand Election War Series with the voice of ability on air for persons with disability. Bishop Dr. Charles Kofi Hackman. Stay tuned.
All right. So again, I asked the executive director what, in her opinion, should be the role of the media during these elections to make sure that persons with disability will not be disenfranchised during this period.
We first of all thank the media, especially to some of them, disability is part of their work, but we call on the broader media community to consciously track how persons with disabilities are included in the election process, how their needs are taken on, when they have opportunities to engage political parties, parliamentary candidates, and holders. They should ensure disability issues come up. It should not be missing from the table, so that together we can all journey through to see that inclusive society we're aiming for.
Is the Helping Hand Election War Series with the voice of ability on air for persons with disability. Bishop Dr. Charles Kofi Hackman. Stay tuned.
All right, so thank you very much, Madam Rita Kusi Trema. But Philip, let me find out from you. H4P, you have become a strong voice for the disability community, and you've been advocating for the disability community for all these years, a decade and over. What, in your opinion, is the importance for peace, especially during elections 2024? In fact, I should even say that before and then during and after.
Bishop, the place of peace is so crucial. It's important people to know that Ghana is bigger than any political party. That is what we believe in H4P, and I think it should be a knowledge that everybody accepts that Ghana is bigger than any political party. So Ghana comes first. Let's have a bigger vision. Let's have a bigger sight. Let's have a bigger picture. We want to see a better Ghana, but we must be alive to be able to realize that. We shouldn't destroy Ghana because of one day of casting our vote prior to the event, during the day, and after. It means that as we get ready to the election, we should watch our language, watch our communication, and remember that we are one people on the day. Cast your vote, come back home. After, let's have a peaceful interaction. Wait for the winner to be declared. Let's accept it, and we move on for a better Ghana.
Definitely, peace is so crucial to us in this country. Well, on the Helping Hand TV show, we are campaigning for peace. We stand for peace. We are advocating for peace. So I asked the executive director to give us her peace message. We'll go for that. Stay tuned.
H4P Organization's campaign for peaceful elections 2024.
From the GFD and the disability community, we want to enjoy the peace that we've had as a country as we move into this election and beyond. We suffer a lot, or we are victims more when it comes to any activities that affect our peace. Ghanaians are peaceful people, and that is our hallmark. And so we want Ghana to be peaceful. We encourage everyone. Yes, there will be issues, but we still need to live together as a country. And persons with disabilities would want to live in peace. Thank you.
H4P Organization's campaign for peaceful elections 2024.
So thank you so much for being with me, the voice of ability and for persons with disability. This has been the special election watch series. Just before we go, I'm going to go back to the executive director, Rita Kusi Chema. She had some kind words for the H4P organization. Take a listen.
First of all, let me commend Bishop for the efforts in promoting disability rights and inclusion in Ghana. As an institution, we see it as a conscious effort, engaging different stakeholders, getting their views, and airing it for the whole world to hear the stories and the situation and the needs of persons with disability. It is commendable. We encourage other media institutions and advocacy institutions to learn from what H4P is doing. It's not only about broadcasting the issues, but also in a way empowering organizations of persons with disabilities to know and be conscious about what is happening around them. We think that it's a commendable effort, and we thank you for supporting disability rights promotion in Ghana.
Is the Helping Hand Election War Series with a voice of ability on air for persons with disability. Bishop Dr. Charles Kofi Hackman.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. This has been the special edition of the Helping Hand TV show. This is the Election Watch Series, Election 2024. And thank you so much to my very, very special guest, Madam Rita Kusi Chema, the Executive Director of the Ghana Federation of Disability Organizations. And special thanks to Mr. Philip Tete, PR H4P Organization. Thank you so much to DV Unlimited, Company Limited, and Fast Teacher Pool, my proud sponsors. And thank you to you for tuning in. Special thanks also goes to those who contribute to H4P through the mobile money system. Thank you so much. If you have not as yet started contributing to H4P through the mobile money system, prayerfully consider it and then lend a helping hand to us so that we can lend a helping hand to the disability community. We've been doing this for the past 13 years. God has been good to us. this is where we draw the curtains. Again, Philip, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much. We have a duty to the disability community, and we are going to do that.
Yes.
All right, so this is where we draw the curtains. Thank you very much. Remember that disability is not inability. I'll come your way again next week, same time. Take care. God bless you.